Hello everyone and welcome back. If you have not watched the previous video, this one will not make a ton of sense because it's picking up right where I left off, basically with the preparation work for getting underway. And as you can see here, I'm untying my lines and then coming out of the slip en route to, what was the anchorage called? La Playa, over by Shelter Island. So if you haven't watched the other video, go ahead, give that a watch first, and then come back to this one and you'll be there for the weekend. Enjoy. Welcome aboard. I'm Captain Joe, and this old girl, she's my home, Toko. She's a 1982 Ed Monk trawler with a monster in her belly. I've spent the last few years aboard making upgrades, and now she's ready to set off over the horizon. So join me as I say goodbye to life on land in pursuit of my dreams at sea. Hop on board to see how much freedom I can live for. Keeping an eye on the dinghy big time because that is our newest variable. Things look good so far. Nice and slow, let the dinghy catch up, and we're underway. All right, everybody, welcome to the Anchorage. As you can see, I've already gone for my first swim because it is hot out here today. But check it out. I've always wanted to stop here. I've anchored like for a lunch hook, but never overnight. Really excited. I just love these hills of Point Loma. They look gorgeous at night too. So you can see we're kind of tucked in here on the back, on the edge. This is like the edge of the anchorage, goes like this, which is sweet. Hopefully we won't have to deal with anybody trying to get real too close on us. And then out the front, you can see this is all the anchorage as well. There, that marks the edge of it as well. Plenty of room for a lot more boats, including Marcus, who should be, I don't know. I think he'll probably be here around noon if he gets out of work when he hopes to. So until then, I'm just hanging out, having a little breakfast, maybe meet some neighbors, go for a paddleboard, and just hanging out. As is expected whilst cruising, especially on an older boat like this, pretty much every time I get underway, something either, I don't want to say breaks because breaks makes it sound like something's really wrong, but there's almost always something that needs tweaking after, you know, it hasn't been used for a while, or if it's been used heavily recently, or whatever it may be. So today's little issue, which I'll show you, is was with the Autopilot. I was driving over here, and it was just a straight line across the bay, so there was no issue. And then tried to turn to port a little bit, and nothing really was happening. And I was like, uh-oh, I hope it's not a hydraulic issue. So I bumped out of Autopilot, turned the wheel manually. Everything's cool, everything's fine. The steering doesn't have an issue, but something in the Autopilot system did. So I kind of like bumped it in and out a couple times. I tried using the controller here, down below. I tried the one up top and was still kind of having issues. And then I looked down when I was in standby, and I saw that while I was going in a straight line, the rudder angle indicator said that I was over 6 degrees to port, but I was going in a straight line. So my next test was, maybe the boat just doesn't want to turn to port because the feedback unit is giving something that's not correct. So I put it back in Autopilot, made a course alteration to starboard, and it came really quick. So what that showed me was basically what the Autopilot brain is thinking is center line was, or no, wait a minute. What the Autopilot was thinking was center line was actually a couple degrees to starboard. And so then what it was thinking was a straight line displayed like it was 6 degrees to port, if that makes sense. And I'll take you to the back to show you what that literally looks like, and hopefully it'll make more sense. All right, through the aft cabin and into the lazarette we go, which while we're back here, let's just mention, oh my goodness, look at all that storage. Doesn't that look so good? Remember That was a project from a little while ago. Anyways, that's not why we're here today. Today, we're gonna talk about this whole setup, which is all the steering gear, right? So you can see here, this post, hold on, how can I do this light a little better? This post here, it goes down through the bottom of the boat, goes down to the rudder, right? And then here's the hydraulic ram that, you know, moves the fluid and makes it go. Then this guy over here, this is the feedback unit for the Autopilot, which you can see the two are slaved here, right? So this light sucks, but the how can I do this? This little rod runs over to here, so when this moves, and then the wires talk to the computer. So what that means is that when we're happy, center line, like you can see now, the display will show 0. However, what was really happening was when we were center line like this, it was displaying 6 degrees off. I forget which direction. But so that made it that if I was trying to turn to the left, what would happen was the Autopilot thinks that it's already got left rudder on because it's out of calibration. And so it's like, oh, I don't need to put the rudder over to turn left because it's already over left, when in fact it was still just sitting in the middle. There's a lot of talking about this issue that was a very simple fix. Basically, all I had to do was go into the Autopilot upper control station, go through the settings. You can do a dockside calibration, which basically means you click the button, it says turn the wheel all the way to the right, and then you click it, and then you input 45 degrees or 30 degrees, whatever the case may be, and then it says okay, go back all the way to the left, and then you input that, and then it says go back to the center, and you check everything, and boom, everything is back in working order. Alright, so the next phase of this weekend is that Marcus is going to come down. We were talking about anchoring separately, but it's so calm back here that I think we're going to raft up instead. So I've gone ahead and made some preparations. We're going to put him on the port side, and so you can see I've got all my cleanest fenders out. He'll be coming up alongside, which is going to be awesome because this is the edge of the anchorage here, so that'll put him on the outside. No one else should anchor over there, and then over here we'll see if anybody tries to scoot in, but it's not a lot of space, so hopefully we'll keep this little corner all to ourselves and not have to worry about any foolish boaters swinging into us in the night.
See the line up there?
Yeah, I'm gonna need you to hit it in reverse. A little more. I need you back here. Keep coming back. Oh, damn it. There goes the GoPro. Alright, well, I knocked over the GoPro on Marcus's arrival, but there he is. Here is Kofuku. We are set for the weekend. We got one not tight neighbor, just parked too close and ran over a dinghy line. We're swinging. Welcome back. It is the second morning. Wait a minute. Yeah, I guess yesterday was the first morning because I got here yesterday and just woke up. Things are so calm. This Anchorage, I'm not gonna say it's better, but it's very different from Glorieta Bay where we go for other overnights. It's just so much more calm. So rafting up is way better. And it's quiet. I don't know, man. It's pretty sweet, and we're a lot closer to stuff on land. Like yesterday, we took the dinghy in to get some fish. Right ahead, dinghy expedition.
Get a Rizog.
Time to go get some fish. Have a look at that.
There's more.
There's another one. Look at that. The man of Kofuku and Kofuku. You can't ask for too much more, folks.
No, you certainly can't.
And you know, the yacht club is there. We got some friends over there. We'll be able to pick people up on the beach over here later today. Yeah, really digging this spot for sure. Anyways, time to break the peace. Going for the first morning swim. Woohoo! Who's coming with me? That's a trick question. Everybody who's watching this video is coming with me. Here we go. Welcome back. Oh, just look at them. Pretty murky water though, that's for sure. Almost dropped the GoPro 2 times. All right, y'all. One of the most underrated parts of living on a boat and being a waterman is getting your exercise. So you best believe, hey, we're going for a swim. We don't know how far or how fast, but we're gonna go over here. Mermaid style. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to what you can see is a pretty blustery morning here. Look at the flag ripping. I guess this is day 3 after the second day. Let's try and hide out under the wind here a little bit. We had an awesome day yesterday. Had a bunch of friends come, and we figured out a cool swing from my boat across using Marcus's mast. Cooked out some shrimp and some brats and hot dogs. Really, yeah, just had an awesome day hanging out on the hook. Somebody like texted and asked me, like, what are you guys doing all day? And it's like, we're just hanging out, having a good time. Everything's right here. Check this out. This guy, long story, I think he's dragging anchor, and I think he's dragging pretty fast. I'm gonna call him. Long story in Playa, Anchorage. This is Choco on 1-6, over. Long story. This is Choco on 1-6. Oh yeah, there's nobody in the pilot house. That is not good news. They're gonna get some anchors tangled. They're probably gonna hit this beautiful motor sailor. Probably too far to see it. I'm very confident we're not dragging anchor. Anyways, been watching the saga over here. The police boat has showed up now too. You can't see the whole problems on the other side of that, but it appears to me that there was nobody on board the big boat that was dragging anchor, and then the other big boat kind of caught them alongside, and now they're basically rafted up. I don't know what's going to happen next. There's no chatter on VHF, unfortunately, but looks like everything's going to be okay. Alright, we got all kinds of crazy shenanigans going on. Now we got this guy in a dinghy with an anchor in it going over to this guy. They've been dragging anchor. And he's trying to put out like, well, under normal circumstances, a normal amount of scope, but it seems like a lot in such tight quarters. Meanwhile, harbor police are just watching as that whole situation continues to be a mess. Just got some word from a couple other folks who were over there. Apparently there is nobody on the big boat, and they just were dragging through the anchorage full speed, you know, barely any anchor chain out, probably not a good anchor, and luckily they didn't hit anything. And then they just landed on the big huge motor sailor and rafted up kind of nicely just by chance. And everybody's kind of watching over there, and some raft ups are breaking up so they don't get hit. But pretty wild morning. Very unexpected. The marine forecast today was calling for less than 10 knot winds, and we woke up here with probably at least 15 knots. People are dragging around. That does it already. Little shrimp and andouille and grits. That don't look like the best breakfast you've ever had. Okay, next step this morning. It is unfortunately time to leave. We were gonna stay a little longer, but the weather and the wind and stuff, and a lot of people are dragging anchor and stuff. We're just gonna buzz out of here. So, gotta clean up everything on deck, get everything cleared, get the paddle boards and dinghy squared away on board, or towing the dinghy again. And then we'll probably untie Marcus first. He'll get underway, and then I'll raise anchor, be on my way. I'm gonna go offshore and pump out, and then head home, and then clean all day.